Hey, hello? Anybody hear me in here? And anyone here? Here. Carissa and Paul.
The wellness for most all my adult life. And I've tried to find the things that were most meaningful and made the biggest difference.
Linda.
Join the meeting.
The first like 20 to 30 minutes, we can introduce ourselves and get in on the conversation together. Right, let me see. In the meantime, we could just chit chat a bit. Hi, Carissa. Hi, Linda. Got Paul. I think that's your name, and Linda, and Daniel. Okay. Can you hear me all right? Everything's okay there, Daniel?
I hear you perfect, man. Loud and clear.
All right, cool. Yeah, this works better than that Facebook Live. I've done that, but I usually run that during the day. But this is much better. Plus, you pay for it, so you get what you pay for. The free is always a little sketchy.
Yeah.
So we have Linda, Carissa, and Paul. You guys are all calling in.
Yep, we're here.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. It just shows me your name on here, so that's it. Paul, are you on? Can you hear me all right? You're there? Okay, he might just be listening in, which is fine. This is a bit more interesting. Are you guys familiar with Brain Injury Radio Network?
Yeah, I've heard a lot, seen a lot. Great
Yeah,
things going on.
I was a host on there for a few years, and this one was a little bit more interactive. So I like this, and you'll see in a minute because I could share. We can do like PowerPoint presentations on here. We can do a lot more than normal than what they were able to do. Plus, it's recorded just like Brain Injury Radio Network, and the same similar rules apply. I here. Let me see what I can do here. Share screen. See. Oh, those of you that are calling in can't see it, but if I had like on Tuesdays we have an open mic conversation on Tuesday nights at the same time, 8 o'clock, well, Eastern time, and we do PowerPoint presentations. We do live videos that are included and stuff, and you could hear it and you could see it. If you're calling in, you could only hear it, but if you're on the computer, you can see what we're doing and who we are and things like that. So, like Daniel, right now, you can see my screen, correct? Daniel?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You
Yeah,
could see you could see my screen, which is the topic of the night.
yeah, I can see your screen. I just might not have said it loud enough. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Okay, we got Aaron's on the line. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us. I'm just waiting for the first few minutes to get people that are, there might be a delay or something, so I'm just working on that right now. Like waiting for people who want to join us or call in. So you all can introduce. You know what you can do in the meantime if you want to. You can all introduce yourselves and what brought you into the brain injury community. So feel free to speak up. I'll go down the line. Linda, what brings you here?
I'm still not sure of a lot of things, but I'm from the Boston area, and I think in February I had an aneurysm, and I had surgery, and so I'm just recuperating now and reaching out to everybody for their experience and anything you can help me with.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're joining us. Any questions? If you ever have any questions or anything like that, we're more than happy to help you. We'll get into that in a little more detail later on. Daniel, what brings you here? You're a survivor as well?
2005, I was in a serious car accident, and changed my life. I wake up in the hospital one day and they tell me, you've been in a serious car accident. Like, BS and and I was then, you know, I tried to get, I mean, I don't have much memories of when I get to the hospital, so I don't really know what happened, all that stuff, you know. But long story short, I spent, you know, a month in a coma, 2 months on life support, and 3 months, a little over 100 days in 2 different hospitals. Made it home, sent me home in a wheelchair, and I worked really hard to get out of it. And
Yeah. God bless you. That's wonderful.
I've done a very good job getting back out of where I came from, and now I'm trying to move my life, and I want to encourage and bring as many people along with me as I can.
Yeah. It's really hard to hear you. It's real faint. I don't know if you could get the mic closer to you.
Yeah, my mic is on my thing. I just.
Hello.
That's a bit better.
When I talk loud, I don't want to. But I can talk loud.
Gary,
no Did you guys get
Join the meeting.
Or should I say it again or what?
No, I heard you. I mean, I think the girls did too. Henry's on, Paul, Gary's on now. So we got a big turnout already.
hello, everybody.
How are you? Gary, we're just doing like little introductions of each person right now. You know, we're waiting for more people to chime in. So right now, everybody's just like introducing themselves.
What I can do is I can call in also from my phone, I think, right? I can call into my phone and be on video at the same time.
Yeah, you can call in by phone. Yeah, you can call in by phone.
Okay, that's a bad speaker.
It's okay. Okay, so Aaron's on, Henry's on the phone, but he's on. And Gary, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, I'm Gary Booth. I've had a brain injury since June 24th, 2002.
Okay, we're all similar in our dates because I had mine in 2003, the end of 2003. Daniel said 2005 or 2004. And yeah, and you were close. Very similar. How did you have your brain injury?
Tractor trailer truck ran me off the road coming home from my honeymoon with my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a car. Mine was a car accident as well. Aaron, would you like to speak and introduce yourself to the other people that are on? Okay. How about Linda? Are you there?
I'm here.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the group? Or did you already?
I did.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at a list and it just changed the names on me.
Yeah, I probably joined a couple times.
Paul, are you still there? Or I know you're just listening in right now. Okay. Now, Carissa, I've known you a long time, so, but you're more than welcome to introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Carissa. I have epilepsy and a couple other neurological disorders, dystonia and Parkinsonism, and I have a son with autism.
Oh, she's with you too?
Daniel.
Oh, Daniel just called in. Okay.
Join the meeting.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, yeah, much better.
All right, cool. That's much better for me too then. Let me just see how to turn the volume back up on my computer because I can't get that.
There's a what do you call? There's a plus sign and a negative sign that turns up the volume.
Oh, okay, cool. I got it now.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Who's that? Who's that answered me?
Henry.
Oh, Henry, I see you on the video, man. Do you see me on the video?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. How's it going, man?
Not bad.
Where are you?
I'm in New Jersey.
Jersey, all right. So, and Michael, you're up in New York, right?
I used to be in New York. Now I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Well, still northeast of me. I'm down in South Florida.
I used to live in Lakeland.
Oh, okay. I know Lakeland, but it's pretty far.
Now,
down Miami.
I don't mean to interrupt. Now that you know what the volume on your computer is, are you able to do that?
Actually, I'm just listening to you guys on the phone because I think if I turn the volume up on the computer, it's going to interfere with you guys. Will hear the volume twice and it'll echo for you guys. I just realized that, you know.
Right, but if you turn the volume on the computer, then hang up your phone.
Woo.
Oh no. My microphone on my computer isn't that good, so that's why I called in.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I just kind of had it all backwards. I'm good now.
It's good. All good.
What's doing, Mike?
Nah, me and Anna are here. She just came in with some pizza, so I'm eating.
Oh, hello, Anna. Oh, pizza. You know, I have a craving for pizza.
Oh my God, how is that craving?
So, So instead of traveling to Pennsylvania, I'm going to order pizza.
Okay. Well, I can show you. You can watch us eat it.
No, thank you.
I'm just doing.
But Michael, excuse me, folks. I will be moving Saturday.
Okay.
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So I'm probably going to wind up coming to your Christmas party.
Okay. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Now, is Anna going to be one of the Santa's helpers?
Well, actually, I was hoping you would do that job.
Yeah, you're
That's
the
a
elf.
woman's job.
No, it's
I'm going to be an elf.
If you guys haven't noticed, those of you that are new with the conference calls, we try to keep it pretty laid back, and we go off topic. But once we get more people in the first few minutes, let me see, what time is it now? It's almost quarter after, and then we'll get on topic and discuss like the subject that we have on tonight.
Well, I'm in Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Who's this?
Gary.
Oh, yes. Thank you. You're in Tennessee. Tennessee's gorgeous. I like Tennessee.
I just got back from visiting. It was my birthday, and my two sisters bought me a ticket to go out and visit our older sister. So one of my sisters and the other sister, I went with my little sister to go visit my older sister, and I got to meet, or not meet, but hang out with my nephew. And it was she's in Kentucky between two cities, Berea and McKee, and we went out there. And it was just, I mean, where I live, it's like city. You know, this is just out in the country, just gorgeous, beautiful. You know, there's like all this hiking in the mountains.
Yeah.
Waterfalls. I was just like blown away by the nature, how gorgeous it was. You know, being out there.
Sounds like our backyard.
My wife said that sounds like our backyard.
Oh yeah, see, man, I need to come visit you guys too.
Most definitely.
That's awesome. Anytime. We live in Mount Pocono.
Mount Pocono, Tennessee, right?
No, we're in Mount Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Okay. Oh, is this Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool. I got a few people on my list now. I mean, I like the country. You know, living down here in the city in South Florida, it's kind of, you forget about it. And then when you get back there, it's just like, wow, what have I been missing, you know? I don't need all this like city stuff, you know, cars everywhere, flashing lights and stuff. Just get out and kind of appreciate the earth, you know, it's really special.
Yeah, yep. This is very cool where we're living now because you got a little bit of everything. When I want to,
I have a question, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that the person that speaks does not come on to the middle of my screen?
There's different views that you can have. There's a thumbnail view, the active speaker video, and a large screen. Like you could change the settings of what you're seeing.
Yeah, I know that. I just can't, for some reason, I can't find it.
I'm not sure. Being the host, it's a bit different. It could be too because I'm sharing my screen with the topic of the night.
Okay. Then that's what it is then.
Maybe, yeah. Well, anybody else would like to speak, you know, feel free. You could bring up anything you'd like.
I'm just Googling Mount Pocono, man. It's pretty out there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to take you up on that, coming to visit you guys.
Okay. Yeah, where we
whenever I
live.
can figure out how to get it done.
I'm sorry?
So whenever I can figure out how to get that done, you know, get a trip up there.
Okay. Where we live, it's not like in the sticks, like you're not really far out, but it's not far to go to a nice little country area. Like we live close by the stores and things like that, but you could just go half an hour down the road and you're in there. Yeah. It's really good.
Half an hour and did it and you're in the forest.
Yeah.
How cold are the winters up there? Because, you know, my blood is pretty thinned out down here, living in Florida for about 20 years, you know.
Oh, right.
My wife from Trinidad, so she's still not used. She's been here 25 years and she's still not used to it.
You say she's from Trinidad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely almost pretty warm.
It's not been too cold up here either.
What's that?
It's not been too cold up here either.
Not really. It's been in the 30s. Sometimes it was a little chillier, but it's still early in the year.
The lowest went down to 24.
It was like 23 degrees. Yeah, I remember that.
I just want snow for Christmas.
I like the snow. I like all the seasons. That's one thing cool about living in the Northeast. You get a little bit of everything.
What do you do again, Danny? What do you do again? Do you want snow?
I want snow for Christmas. That's it.
Where? Where are you?
Florida.
Okay.
Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Go into your freezer, take ice cubes, shave them down, and not have snow.
Henry's in Jersey. Me and Henry live next door to each other in New York, and we live next door to each other in Jersey. Let's see if we can get Susan on tonight too. There's one guy that we were talking to today that my wife and I met online. He's got an amazing story about his brain injury and his survival and everything else. It's really, really cool. I'm hoping he joins in. He might, who knows, but he will. I think he'll definitely be on our Tuesday night support calls. Very interesting.
Hey,
mm-hmm.
I actually speak to Milligan College occupational therapy students about brain injuries once a year.
Really?
Yep.
That's in Tennessee?
Yep.
That's cool.
Every year around November, I go up there and see them.
What is the feedback?
What kind of feedback do you get from it?
They really want to know, basically, how to deal with people like us.
Not easy.
No, it is not. We can be at our worst or we can be at our best.
Yep.
That's part of what we do.
But you know what I say? They hold them if they can't take a joke.
I just heard a female voice.
All right.
Oh, hi.
That was my son, Noah.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
I know.
How are you?
Oh, I know her.
What's
No,
her
I said I know her. Just a joke.
Hi. There's lots of people talking.
I said I know her. And then I said just joking.
I love you.
What he said?
He said you.
Oh, how old is he?
He is 12.
Oh.
You're a nice little young boy. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, buddy.
All right.
Next
time we got to get him on video.
Well, I'm wanting you for phone.
You can't use a phone. I'm using it.
Why?
Because I'm talking to a bunch of awesome people.
Well, I'm wanting you for phone.
Later, okay?
Please.
Later. I love you too.
Oh.
I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was cute.
It sounds nice.
My wife and I are sucker for kids. That's how we met. We were both teachers for children with special needs.
Want to bring all of them home.
Yeah, we do. We want to bring all of them home.
I met my new wife at the brain injury place I was living at.
What's that?
I met my new wife at the brain injury place I was living at here in Limestone.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, I actually met her online, and we had our first date there at the facility, and they loved her to death. And then, like a week later, they let her take me on a day trip to Gatlinburg.
Excuse me, Michael?
Yes, sir.
Can you invite Snow Deb? Because she can't find the number to get on.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I can do it on my phone. I sent it to her. I sent her the link on Facebook, so that's a little weird. Okay, copy. Give me 1 second. I'll get that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent her a message already on Facebook. I'm reading it right now. Okay.
Yeah, I remember Michael invited me after he read my comment.
Yeah. Daniel will be back in a moment. He had a phone call he had to make too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm here at the office all day with my dog. She's been hanging out with me all day.
Aww.
And Anna.
Michael, did you say you put it on her Facebook page?
I put it on. Oh, sorry, I'm reading something. Just got a message.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, she's on. She's on.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent it to her in a messenger on Facebook.
Okay, good.
It's fine.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
Hi y'all. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. We have a number of new people on.
Yes.
So everybody was just kind of introducing themselves.
Hi, Gina Marie.
It's Maria. Hi.
Oh, hi, Gina Maria.
Maria, I say. Them people remember.
Okay, and who's
I'm
that?
sorry. That's my twin brother and, his fiance. I'm showing pictures I had on my desktop, and my brother just made an announcement they're getting married at the end of December.
Okay.
That's why you saw that.
Okay.
Congrats.
So they announced it today and they're getting married at the end of December?
The end of December. They live in Florida. Hi, Gina.
Hi.
How are you, dear?
I'm okay. I'm waiting for an announcement. So I might have to leave, but I'm good.
Okay, good. Thank you. Anna, are you joining in on your laptop? Okay. I'm just giving it a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. Everybody's just introducing themselves and talking a little bit about what brought them into the brain injury community. You all might know.
Big truck.
I'm sorry?
A big truck's what brought me into the community.
Yeah, a tree in my forehead. That's got me.
Well, the guy that hit me never stopped. He kept on going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have no such incident.
Well, some of us are caregivers, some of us are survivors, some of us are both. So we all have our different roles that, we play here, which is fine.
None of the above.
What brought you into the brain injury community, Gina?
I was friends on Facebook with someone that clicked me into about 30 other people, and then I got associated with brain injury, although my doctor says that's not what I have. But he doesn't know what I have, so I don't know. It's a neurological something or other.
Okay. Well, that is a type of brain injury. Anything that's out of the norm, there's a neurological impairment. So.
Well, it's a neurological impairment, but when I was in a teaching hospital, he told the students, he was speaking to them, and I was just listening, and it was really interesting because no one said it. Well, first I came in and I said, is it okay if some students come in and we tell them about you? And I said, yeah, the monkey in the zoo, just come on in, right? So they all came in. There were probably almost 30 of them. And he was telling them that it looked like spinal cord injury, MS, stroke, and maybe brain injury, all rolled into one, but it was none of the above. So, and then ended up saying something about the fact that the pulmonologist was coming, and I said, I just sat up, I was like, the pulmonologist, my lungs are just fine. And he turned around and looked at me and said, how do you know what a pulmonologist is? And I said, I speak Spanish, pulmones. And then one of the students was like, hablas español, and we just started going, blah, 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 and I swear to God, that doctor almost fainted.
That's funny. That's a great story.
Yeah, it's one of my million stories. I have a lot of stories.
You guys, like I said, we do these support calls on Tuesday nights all the time, so you guys are more than welcome to join in. And this is the kind of conversations we all have. We just share our stories and have some fun together, and then support one another too if there's something that needs to come up to be talked about. All right.
Ooh. Oh my God.
This, if you guys are looking at the screen, well, those of you that can, we do have a topic of the night. And it's what to do after a brain injury. And the biggest one, and this is what we're all about, the biggest thing to do after a brain injury is support. Support one another. Listen, open the eyes of other people that don't understand brain injuries or don't know about it. And if those of you that have been around the last 13 years that we've been doing this stuff, we are like a family together. And when nobody wants to listen or understand, there's things that medical books don't teach. That's what we're here for, and that's experience. And we all have them, you know. And in conjunction with what Gina said before, it touches base on that, is the fact that there's a lot of different, there's hundreds and hundreds of different types of brain injuries, but it's still the same brain, you know, and the way they affect one another have their similarities. And we all know what they are. There's impulse control, loss for words, aphasia, confusion, it's overstimulation of senses and things like that, headaches, dizziness,
brain fog.
Brain fog. Yeah, it's better than brain fart, but it's the same thing.
Well, I think that brain fog is caused a lot by being on too much medication. That's my medical opinion. How's that? And it's just like foggy. I couldn't think for beans.
Yeah. So that's the big one, is like an introduction about what we do and who we are, and that's why we started doing this. And another thing too, that what we do with each other is a lot of people don't have support groups in their area all over the country. And we open that up because Facebook is Facebook, and Facebook is good and great and everything, but you don't get real personalities sometimes. And you can't hear tone of voice through text and what you read, aside from funny jokes and things like that. But like one-on-one conversations we have here, and it's wonderful. You know, you get to actually hear a person's voice. You get to know people for who they are, what they mean. And we share information together. So it's like really beneficial to one another. So. And then, of course, there's also the educational aspect of it. There's people that are in our group now that have opened my eyes up to new neurological issues that I've never even heard before and stuff. And when I do that, I put them on our website so other people can, if they're looking for information about things like, we talk about strokes because there's a lot of different types. We talked about, today we were talking about it on Facebook, was neuropathy. And that's a real common thing with people with diabetes, but they don't understand the neurological aspects that come along with that as well. And today was interesting because I had a few conversations about that type of thing. And
I'm gonna grab my meds.
Okay. Hi, Susan. I was
How are you?
I was talking about you before. I said, I'm waiting for Susan. I hope she gets on.
Yeah, tell her what you really said.
I lost track of the time.
It's okay. I do
In
that
the
too.
middle of something else.
It happens. We understand the brain damage. We understand.
That could happen to anyone.
No, I know.
So, does anybody have any questions or anything, comments they'd like to make? That's open, for conversation too, about what I was talking. I mean, those of you like Susan and Henry, and even my wife, who's been involved a lot for a long time, if you guys would like to talk about the benefits of the support services and things like that, would be great.
The benefit of the support groups I found is that people, unfortunately, but fortunately enough, we become a very unique family, meaning that we are the only ones that understand one another. And I use the term, we are the only ones that get it.
I agree.
Does anybody understand what I mean?
No.
Okay. What I mean by get it is that unfortunately, unless you have a brain injury, for the most part, you will not get it. Our trials and tribulations that we go through on a daily basis.
That's the truth.
I don't understand mine.
Huh?
I don't understand mine.
No, I'm not. Well, for you, first, you have to understand yours so that other people can understand you, if they choose to. If they choose not to, then I would just walk away. And unfortunately, a lot of us in the brain injury community lose our families, would lose our dear friends because they just don't understand it, or in the better word, they just don't get it.
I guess I feel like it's really hard for other people to get it when I don't get it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I mean, you were talking about neuropathy. I have something in my hands. Well, first of all, when I first heard that word after I got, quote, the flu, which God knows what the hell this actually is. Excuse my French.
Okay.
Spanish and French, right? But, I heard the word neuropathy and I looked it up and I was like, what the hell? Why didn't the doctor ever tell me that's what this is called? So the next time I saw him, I said, why didn't you ever tell me that's what this is? He goes, that's not what you have. And I said, well, it sure sounds like it. And he said, yeah, but you have to have lesions in your brain to have neuropathy, and you have something that looks like it, but you don't have any lesions.
You don't have to have lesions in your brain to have neuropathy.
No.
No, you won't.
I was
when
waiting.
do you have to have neuropathy? Tell me.
Well, neuropathy, from what I understand, is nerve damages, and it could be caused by variations of things. But the primary cause of neuropathy is people who have diabetes or the onset of diabetes. Now, other issues that can mask itself as the same is if you're developing rheumatoid arthritis. It's very similar to neuropathy pain. But the best way I could describe it is a person who, example, my mom, she suffers from neuropathy, and her cause of it is the diabetes, the sugar in her body is so much, it's damaging the nerve tissue in her body. And that causes the pain that she has.
Okay.
My sister, however, has similar issues to her hand as what you're describing, and she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis.
So I was a Spitfire, like doing a million things when I was, I don't know, 40, 41, 42 years old, okay? And I went on a trip with my family to Washington State. And while I was there, I like got the flu or something. That's what they said. They think it is. They didn't know. But I mean, I was perfectly, quote, perfectly fine as any of us are, right? So this, whatever it was, just, I mean, over a period of about 2 months, I was losing my balance and falling, and finally they put me in the hospital. They did tons and tons and tons of testing. One time they came in to get 15 tubes of blood, okay? And they ended up sending some to the Mayo Clinic. I'm in Wisconsin, so the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And they kind of like never really found out what it was. But the long and short of the like neuropathy part is that my whole body, the whole left side of my body was suffering with that like pain and tingling, and my right hand and my right foot. All right, so that was, I don't know, 17, 18 years ago. 16 years ago, sorry. Today, I only have pain in my hands and my feet. And actually, in the last month, I don't know what's going on, I suddenly got like a really strong jolt of sensation all the way through my left foot and my left leg, all the way up to my hip. So things are starting to change in ways that I would have never guessed. The only thing I'm changing is an hour-long meditation that I'm doing every day. But hey, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it, right?
As long as it works for you.
Well, it's a neuroscience guy, so he's a chiropractor and a neuroscientist and yada yada. He's got this stuff that he does, and I think it might be that. I'm not sure. I'll tell you in 2 more months. How's that?
That would be great. I believe in that, and I think that's helpful for anybody, regardless of brain injury.
Thank you. So I don't know. Getting better. It would help if I took my meds, if I remembered to take them.
Do any of y'all know the Brain Injury Association of America?
Sure.
I'm actually published on their site.
You are. Explain.
Yeah.
Which
I gave them my story.
Does the story have to do with what her problem is? In
Actually,
remembering to take her pills?
My story is entitled, and you can look it up on the Brain Injury Association of America's website, Love After a Brain Injury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I understand. What I'm asking is, in your whatever you wrote, does it tell how she should remind herself, or can remind herself to take a pill, a medication?
I can just set my phone and put the alarm on, but
There you go.
I mean, I could, but I haven't anyway.
Yeah, okay.
A
Yeah,
lot
those
of
are
people,
usually helpful. I think we all use those.
yeah, but well, I myself, I used daily planner, post-its, and recorder.
The voice
Those
recording.
3 things to constantly remind myself of anything.
Gary, with the book that you were talking about, if you'd like, I'd like to promote that. I could put a copy of that on our website. I think that would be beneficial for anybody in the brain injury community to get their hands on it and read it.
Well, it's not really a book. It's just my story.
Well, the story. I mean, that's what I mean. That would be great. Outside of the conference calls or the support calls that we do, message me and share it with me, and I could put it and promote it.
I can do that. There's also the woman who is the founder of the Criminal House Brain Rehabilitation Center. She also wrote a book about her daughter. That's why she started the Criminal House, was because of her daughter. And she actually wrote me into that story too. I don't know why. They seem to think that I'm one of their miracle members. You know, I just think of myself as me.
I know that. I get that
I
too.
survived something that should have killed me, and I recovered so well from it.
You just feel you're lucky to be alive. That's it, right?
Yeah, pretty much so.
I got you. Yeah.
I get that.
Even though at the time of my injury, I was coming home from my honeymoon, and she ended up abandoning me because of it. So it was horrible, because the doctors told everybody in my family that I would have the mind of a 4-year-old and never walk again. I do pretty good for a toddler.
Tell me the name of the book. What is it? Love After Brain Injury?
That's the name of my story. The book that I'm written into, or my story is written into, is called Lori's Miracle. You can actually order this book online through Barnes & Noble, and the proceeds go to the brain injury place I lived at.
And what's your name?
My name is Gary Booth.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm looking it up on Amazon and I don't see it. I'll have to look by the name.
This call is being recorded, so it'll be able to be retrieved again. So if you guys need more information and you want to listen to it again, it will be. It'll be available.
I have.
Your article that you wrote, it's about how you acquired your TBI and how you overcame it, or how you deal with it.
It basically starts out with how my accident happened and how my ex-wife abandoned me to a place that I really didn't want to go to at first. And then through all the help that they provided with me, the Criminal House became my second family. Even once I moved out and got married again to my new wife, which it was actually 13 years I've been married, since November 20th of this year.
Poor guy.
And it just tells my story from being hurt up into being in the house, and then being the people that helped me, and then actually living my life now.
That's awesome.
Are you the one that was talking that said that you give the lectures at the college?
Yes, I do that.
When you give the lectures, what do you have a class, like a title to the class that takes that session with you?
Actually, I have my medical records to my brain from the wreck that actually happened from the day that because I can't remember wreck. That's the one thing that I guess God did not want me to see, is that wreck in my mind. So I wanted to know what the doctors and everybody had done to me, so I keep those records with me. And that's what I discussed with the occupational therapy student. This is what had happened to me. This is stuff that you need to look out for. So this could happen.
Oh, so the student that go to that session, that you conduct? They're medical students?
Yeah, they're occupational therapy students.
Okay.
I was in physical therapy for 7 years. How did that even happen until the critical care clinic got audited and then I got kicked out? They said, we have to let you go. We got audited. We got yelled at really bad. It's like, oh no. So 7 years, that's crazy.
I would say that's lucky.
Henry, how long you been going to physical therapy?
All my life.
See.
Physical therapy should never end for no one. Because there's always something new to learn when you go to physical therapy. And number two is that these things that they teach you, the difference in your bones so that they don't atrophy. How do I say it?
Question: how long have you been bald?
Excuse me?
Someone just asked how long he's been bald.
Oh boy, I thought you did therapy. Oh, since I'm 25.
It's hair therapy. That's what that is.
Yes.
It's Henry's cosmetic therapy.
Yes.
Hilarious.
I'm trying to catch up.
Gary, I'm listening to the conversation. My interest with what you're saying with the colleges is I honestly believe that not only the therapists, but future nurses, teachers, counselors, they all need to learn and they all need to hear stories as such as your own, because they all play a huge part in the community that, you know, everyone is involved in, especially when you're a child growing up with a disability or a TBI or whatever it is that they have, and learning how to fit into society and their community.
Yes, that's true.
Even to open the eyes of the caregiver's perspective and let them know, and family members can learn more. That's even bigger than just even, I mean, it's great for medical professionals and the students that are learning, but family members and caregivers and friends and family, they all need to be a part of that kind of stuff, because that's the biggest questions that come up for survivors. Nobody understands, or nobody's willing or wants to know. They're too busy judging me because they want me to be the person I used to be, and I'm not.
That's it. That's exactly what I mean by people that get it.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
This is Linda, and that's exactly the problem I'm having with my family.
Right.
Is friends and family do not understand.
That's what I said before, Linda, about people getting it.
Well, I think they
very
can
hard situation.
I think they can get it. Maybe they don't try and they don't have compassion.
No, I don't think it's compassion or whatever. It's just too much for them to get it. So they'd rather could do stupid or whatever.
No, you have to train them.
Yeah, but you have to train them. I agree with that. But it takes so much energy to train somebody that doesn't want to be trained.
Well, then
I don't necessarily think train is the right word.
Right.
I would say educate them.
Okay.
And I think that it has to go on both parties as far as patience is concerned.
Yeah,
the reason I say this is because obviously I don't have a brain injury. but my husband does. And it was something that I had to learn how to deal with, or I had to learn how or why he does things the way he does.
But you see, Anna, is that you wanted to educate yourself.
Well, it's
So
not only
that's
myself, because this is something, yes, I chose to do. I chose it
Correct.
for my
Correct.
life. However, we do have family members that were not as understanding. We do have friends that were not as understanding, but hearing how and hearing why and seeing from both ends,
Right.
they are able to understand. There has been turnarounds within our family,
Right.
you know, and people that we didn't think that would ever be in our life are in our life. But yeah,
Okay.
it does take a lot of hard work.
Yeah, but is it bad of me to interrupt you? But these people that turned around and now get it, if they were not interested, they would never get it.
No, you're 100% right in that case. And it goes back again, like I say, it's like a child learning to ride a bike for a person with a TBI, or a
Right.
baby learning to walk. It's a whole new life second time around. You have to relearn every single thing that you've already done. And then you have to learn it in a different manner because you're of a different age group. You're of a different mentality. You're seen a different way. However, as a person from the outside looking in, when we look, we see if it's not an obvious physical disability, in our mind is like what you see is what you get. You know, nothing is wrong with this person. I don't see something wrong with this person. And that's where educating the public and the community and our family comes in, that, you know, look beyond just my physical appearance.
Right.
You know, there's more to me than what you're seeing with your eye. You have to look a little bit deeper. Yes, I may look the same. Yes, my voice may sound the same. However, I am not the same. And the same way I'm learning to be this new person, I'm hoping that you will take that time to learn about the new me.
Right. Well, what if they don't want to learn about the new you?
Then you grow and you mature and you do things for yourself.
Right.
That makes yourself feel good.
Right.
And if they want to be part of your life, that's a choice that they have to make.
That's
If
right.
they don't want to, then there's nothing you could do. But at the end of the day, you're not alone. You have other people that you turn to, like you said, your family here at the organization, where you can turn to, and you get the same response. You get you get the feedback that you need, and these are people that understand you.
Right.
And these are people that accept you for who you are, not for what they want you to be.
Right, but okay, I am a short type of person when I speak. You break things down more, Anna, so that's good. But what you just said, is it not the same as what I say?
It is the same. I just said the way the terminology you use in saying
That's what I said, thank you.
They don't need to be trained, they need to be accepting.
Okay.
You know, and if they don't want to be accepting, guess what? Tough love, move on.
Right. That's why I said you have to be around people that get it.
Or want to.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
Some people have an open mind, and some people it's like closing to a closed book.
And you're right, you did say the same thing, Henry, but the reason why I explained it is you understand what you said, right? Michael understand what you said, and everybody else that's there, because they can relate to what you're experiencing and what you're going through. However, from my perspective, an outsider coming in or a family member, and you say, well, we have to train them, they see it as you're saying something very offensive to them. Their response is defense. They're going to say, I'm not an animal. Why are you trying to train me?
Yeah,
Right.
that was me. I was telling you to train them, but don't tell them that.
Right.
No, I
Yeah.
understand
You know,
what you're saying.
it's all the approach, you know. But
Yeah,
some
well,
people will get it, some people won't.
people have always told me it's not what you say, it's the way you say it.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not very good at saying it nicely sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah, me neither. I'm very short.
I have
when it
my
comes to
moments where
that.
mine comes too.
Huh?
Well,
I
with
said I have my moments where I say the wrong things too.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
people like-
as long as they know I'm human.
There you go.
Gary?
People like us, we always have to learn. We always have to have patience with ourselves, because no two brain injuries are alike. What is wrong with me may not be wrong with Henry or
Right.
Michael or everybody else. We all have our differences in our brain injury. Mine was on the right hemorrhoid side of my head. I lost a lot of my emotional control. I've worked hard to regain that. I've lost my musical ability, my different languages that I used to know how to do. Now what I try to do is I try to educate others on how to treat us the way we would like to be treated.
That's very commendable. And that's absolutely what not just, I think the world in general needs that.
And I don't even do it for pay. I do it voluntarily. I love doing it. Now, the Chroma House where I used to live at, I volunteer for any function they have for fundraisers to help that place, because they are my second family. My work, I work for Ingles Market. I'm the facility maintenance clerk for a store. They understand every moment that I need to spend with the Chroma House. They understand my brain injury, and they will give me the time that I need to go do what I need to do with it. So I'm thankful for Ingles for that.
And this is Linda. I have a question. I think my family kind of sees this as something like that you should recover very quickly from. I don't think that they understand that this might even be a lifetime deficiency. How do you explain to them that this is not a sickness that I'm going to get better from in a certain amount of time?
Have them call.
What advice? Go ahead, Michael.
No, I said have them call.
Yeah, they go. No, Linda.
It's not one person's opinion. This is the way it is, you know.
It's something you're going to have to juggle, Linda, and try to figure out a way.
I would have the doctor talk to them. Who's taking you? Does someone take you to your appointments?
I've got myself.
So maybe you could make a call to the doctor before you get there or something and say, could someone please address this issue?
There you go. That's a good idea, Linda.
How long do you think it will take me? I mean, I would be great with the doctor. I'd say, hey, how long do you think it's going to take me to get back to normal? And he would just look at me and laugh.
Right.
Well,
Never were normal, lady.
I found, if I can say something, I'm sorry. I found that a lot of the time when you ask a doctor how long will it be before I become normal again, he can answer you because he doesn't want to incriminate himself.
Right.
Yeah, but it goes right back to what you said about how you say it. If you're kind of saying it like raising your eyebrows and looking a little bit, hey doc, can you help me out here? How long do you think it'll take? And you're looking at your family member, or They understand that.
What I was about to say, Linda, is we can give I could send you some written documentation about things like brain injury, so you can hand it to them and go look.
Oh, that's great.
It might take a while. We don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you live with your family?
No.
To answer Linda's question or about the normal part, I always answer when somebody asks me about that. I always answer, well, what is normal? What could be normal for me?
In the washing machine.
What could be normal for me could be total lunacy to somebody else.
Right, regardless to an injury.
In all aspects,
perspective.
I believe we all are normal, whether we have an injury or not. And I was always told when I first got my injury, I was told by a very good friend who's the brain injury service coordinator for East Tennessee. She said, there is no Band-Aid for brain injury. So healing will take a lot of time, and it will never be fast because we're always developing as we get older new things that are connected to our brain that may be hurting now than they wouldn't be back then.
Okay.
Things that are hurting now that weren't before? Oh, like pain.
Basically, your brain is always changing. Always.
Thank God.
The injury that I sustained, I lost my short-term memory. The one thing that surprises me the most is my long-term memory is perfect. I remember every line from every school play I was ever in. Yesterday, I have no idea.
That's everybody, Gary.
Oh, I believe it. But
isn't that
like
amazing?
Our brain, I've developed, there's certain quirks that happen with a brain injury that are damaging to me. Because I don't know how your brain was injured, but from my aspect of it, I will never fully be whole brain-wise. And I'm okay with that because the knowledge that I still have, I use to try to better myself. It takes a lot to keep me from my short fuse going off because I have full emotional control. I can cry during a comedy. Don't know why, but it happens. I don't have that disease where you cry or laugh out loud or stuff like that. It's the way my brain was hurt on that particular side of the brain. I dedicated my life after my injury to study what went wrong with my brain, what was hurt, what the doctors did. You know, I've always tried to figure out what I could have done that day to prevent that accident. But I will never see that day in my head, ever.
You're living in the past then. I propose living in the future and creating the neural pathways that you need to create a whole brain. And that's part of the meditation that I'm doing.
That's awesome. I like that too. You concentrate on now. And
not even now.
Forward. But even moving
forward. Creating it in a different place in your brain, in the realm of pure consciousness. And when you change your thoughts in pure consciousness state, your brain has to bring them into manifestation. What do you think of that one, Gary?
I see what you're saying, and I totally agree with living in the future. Me being somewhat of a philosopher, I always try to figure out what I did wrong that day. I mean, the accident wasn't my fault.
Okay, but there's judgment that you did something wrong. It just is. Leave it alone. Let it go. You are where you are. Let's move forward, right?
Well, that's true.
We all are where we are. All of us.
Yes, but it's not that simple. Gina.
Well, I'm not saying it's simple, but we can try. And, you know, I've been doing this meditation for a week, and today I stood up. I'm a chariot user. You can't see my chariot here. Right behind me, see? So I'm a wheelchair user. Today, for the first time since 2001, I put my hands on my thighs and I stood up without using my armrest.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Very cool. And that's what you tell everybody. And that's baby steps, you know, little at a time, but it helps progress you to another level. And every day is another goal. And that's something that all of us who are survivors realize.
My goal has always been to teach people about who we are. Always will be.
So if we're always changing, then change, as we change, we can bring them with us. Bring them along. Come on. Right?
Absolutely.
See, this is what I'm talking about. We're all on the same page. This is what I love. We're all giving our own definitions and work, I guess you can call it work ethic, but we're all doing the same thing for the same reasons and the same cause, and that I love that. It's really, really cool.
Oh, Michael, I posted my story to your Facebook page.
I saw it. Yeah, thank you.
That was basically me. 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And mine was 14 years ago as well. That's funny. October 12th, 2003, and we just passed that, so I'm a little past the 14-year mark.
Yeah. That's the one day I never drive on is June the 24th.
Yeah, I know. I call it my new birthday.
Yeah. Actually, I recently got over my fear of the interstate. I've actually learned to drive the interstate. Now, when I do see a rig, I do start twitching, but you know, I don't let it bother me as much as it used to. Like I said, I would love to see the guy who actually hit me instead of having him run away.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think that was one of the beauties
That guy has to live with himself. Sorry, excuse me. Go ahead, Michael.
No, that's okay. I was just saying that's one of the things about the beauty of having an issue with my short-term memory. I don't remember the day of my accident really much.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it happened, but I remember the day of it. But after, I don't have no recollection of like the accident or anything.
I actually remember waking up in the hospital, and that was it, you know.
Me too.
I remember getting up and packing the vehicle up and having breakfast and then getting on the interstate. After that, I remember waking up in the hospital with a C-collar around my neck, and the doctor saying, "You've been in a very serious accident." I looked at him like, "Really? What was your first clue?"
I woke up going, what the hell am I doing here? I've never been in the hospital in my life. And then he told me about what happened. And that was 3.5 weeks later.
But that was the day when I learned to never say never.
There you go. I like that one.
But what I meant by that was never say you. I always used to say I'll never be in a wreck until it actually happened.
Well, that's maybe why you landed up in one.
Maybe. I think God was teaching me a lesson.
That's a negative statement. I'll never be in a wreck. Instead of saying I am fine, or I'm a fabulous driver.
Oh, yeah, I'm a very good driver.
Yeah, but if you say I'm never going to be in a wreck, then that's a negative statement.
Oh, that was
Never
beforehand.
say never.
Now I never say never, because since my accident, me and my wife has been in 2 other wrecks that weren't our fault. Somebody actually slammed into the back end of us. The first time that it did happen, though, I lost my shit. It brought back a memory I did not want to have. I actually had to call my service coordinator from the coma house to come calm me down because I was just flooded like, if I don't get out of this vehicle, I'm going to die. But I am fine now. I love my life. I love the wife that I have for taking care of me for 13 years so far. Without her, I don't know where I'd be.
Wow.
My ex-wife dropped me off at the brain injury place and just left.
That's nuts. Oh my God.
I don't hold no ill will towards her.
No,
I'm just glad that I got to see the real her before we actually got into our marriage.
yeah, that's true too. That's why I look at everything as a blessing. I'm so glad, like me and my ex-wife split up after I woke up out of the coma and everything. I said, enough struggling. I said, this is my new life. I was like, I'm enjoying every moment I got. I said, we're either going to make it work or it's over. She said, I never did nothing to you. And I said, okay, bye. Done. And now look, I've got a bigger, beautiful, more loving, adoring family than I've ever had. So it's everything I've always wanted I have now. So I'm happy I have mine. It opened my eyes. It started a new life for me. So I'm happy.
Now, you're not just saying that because Anna's on the call.
No, I've said it. You guys know I've said it without. I live a beautiful life now.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy after the injury, and even when I was living alone, I was like, I'm in charge of my life now, and I'm living for me. And that's when I started making demands. I knew exactly what I was looking for. I was much older, and not 19 years old. When you're trying to figure yourself out. By the time I was 35, I said, this is what I want, and I'm going to wait until I find it. And I gave up on any idea of a relationship with anybody. And then I met Anna, and 3 months later, we were married.
Tricked me into giving him a ride.
Yeah.
I did Kleenex, Michael.
There is always somebody, Michael, who will love us. Always.
It's just a filtering process.
I mean, when I met my wife, Sherry, online through Yahoo Personals back in the day when they had personals.
Yeah.
And we had our first date at the Crumley House, and I knew that she could coming to the Crumley House to visit me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew she was the one because she was understanding from the get-go. Because I told her, I said, look, right now I'm a mess.
Yeah.
I said, but I can get better. I will get better.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's
13 years later.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
And 13 years later, and here I am.
The one thing that's kind of funny, and I know Henry will oblige to this, but Susan does too, because we've known each other a long time, is one thing after you've had a brain injury, regardless to whether it's been 40 years or 2 years, once you're able to speak, you don't hold back. You say things as you see it, and the honesty comes out. And I know
good and bad.
I can tell Gary right now, when you're on that personal's website, you laid it all out. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. Accept it or buy. Just like Henry was saying.
Right. Yep.
That's the truth.
You don't take we all know, don't take a second for granted because it could be gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That's it. Enjoy life while you got it.
You know, it's interesting because part of that meditation I was talking about, and I want to say that, I'm not trying to promote this. I'm just saying that's what I'm using and it's working. But part of the meditation at the end, it's just being so enveloped in that feeling of gratitude and So very interesting comments that you made, Gary, because my son just moved out in the middle of October. So I've had 6 weeks to just really kind of focus on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the whole thing. It's the perspective. Then and that's one is a perspective. The second thing is contentment, and that's along the lines of what I'm getting at. Is you get to a point, like I said, you don't take a second for granted. You enjoy life for what, but you're living your life for your own contentment. You're trying to make things the best for yourself, and enjoy what you've got while you've got it. You know.
Got it. People will either accept us or not. I look at it like this. I like myself. I don't consider myself damaged. I consider myself impaired, but I still live on.
Yeah. People say all the time, you are so inspiring. I'm like, shit, I say inch by inch makes a mile until cartwheels. That's what I say. And then when I'm doing the cartwheels, that's going to be the name of my book. How's that?
Sounds pretty good. I'd read it. I love to read.
Cool.
Okay, those quiet people, you can join in on the conversation now.
Susan?
Yes?
What do you think?
About what?
Anything. What are you thinking?
I'm just listening.
It's called the penny for your thoughts.
I'm just on here basically to listen and learn and, things like that. And what Gina said is the good, the meditation is a real good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It calms you down. It allows you to see things. It's your quiet place.
Definitely, yeah. What else works for other people? Like, what other things do you do that you think helps? Like, for me, music is a great therapy for me.
Yep.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, music good. I mean, me personally, I find talking like we're doing now, socializing helps me a lot.
Yeah.
Because, after 20 some odd years of dealing with family and friends and whoever, and try to make them understand what's really wrong with you, I'm tired. I only want to talk to people that get it.
Right.
And that's us. Unfortunately, that's us.
So are we the only people you talk to all week long, Henry?
No, I didn't say that. I said, well, for the most part, I mean, I talk to a lot of people, but when I talk to you guys, I can get a little deep, and that's good. I will get deep with other people because I'm trying. I've given up on trying to help people understand me.
Right.
If that makes sense. That goes back to what Michael said. I just want to live, smile, and not be so grumpy. That's all.
How does this sound?
How can you be grumpy? You're hilarious.
No, what I mean by grumpy is people that don't get it. It's enough. They make me angry. I just told you guys.
You know,
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
hard.
lot of stupidity in our world.
Yes.
Okay, don't get me going. I'm a political science junkie and I'm a political science major, so.
Say again?
I have a degree in political science from the University of Wisconsin.
Okay.
So.
And?
See that.
And?
So politics and stupidity are related in this day and age.
100%.
That's right.
I agree 100%.
I thought it was the same thing.
I think that's the truth.
Now I have to shut up.
That was awesome.
Okay, how's this sound? And listen carefully. I speak from experience. You guess what? You don't have to try and waste precious energy on making other people understand. Just live your life, and this is how it is, and you improve on your own pace.
Yeah,
That's what you should be concerned about.
yeah.
Absolutely.
The thing is that there's some people that. Go ahead, Susan.
You're wasting precious energy in trying to convince someone of something, your brain injury, and even if they appear to understand, you don't know how much they understand. And by the same token, they have their stories too, and their own insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah, really the bottom line of what I hear you saying, Susan, is that we all have things to learn, no matter what. I mean, there's a million things to learn.
That's right.
About brain injury, about meditation, about philosophy, about politics.
Life.
Right.
Oh, good one. That was brilliant.
And learn it. Stop focusing on trying to make others understand and just enjoy life and learn what you want to learn and improve at your own pace. I mean, if they don't walk in your shoes, then they don't know.
You can't make anyone do or feel anything either. You know, I mean, you can try to explain it to them, but you can't make them learn.
That's right.
And that's where Henry gets frustrated.
Where?
Well,
Say again?
And you get frustrated because you can't make people learn about it.
No, it's not. No. It's not frustrating. It's just that I give up on that.
It's just a barrier that you walk.
You're right. Thank you,
It's
Susan.
like, oh no, not this again.
Right.
Same old song, same old dance. Oh no, you got me singing. That's really bad.
Just don't do a jig.
Yeah, it is. She's not there yet.
So I have a question that maybe you guys can help me with. When you have new members that call in that are new with living with their TBI, and they're struggling in themselves accepting that, and what they're showing to their family is they're hurting inside, but their outside expression is anger or hatred or animosity or frustration. How do you, from a family's perspective or from a friend perspective, help that individual to accept their new life and, you know, reassure them that, you know, it's baby steps and things will be okay?
The family members that are helping the person with the TBI have to be kind and patient and not get upset. They have to be the ones that try hard to stay calm.
No, it's not the family member I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the person.
No, I'm talking about just a scenario. Let's say I go outside and I get in an accident, right? The first, from what I see, or maybe I'm wrong, is they're like stages that, you know, people go through where it's like the stages of denying. They're denying that this happened to me.
Yeah,
They're denying that, you know, and the question, why did this happen to me? What did I do? You know? And then they'll say, then the anger and the frustration comes in when they realize that they have limitations, like things they couldn't do before, or things that they could do before, they can't do it now. You know, it takes time and years to learn and to grow and to mature and to understand where they are and how they are now. But how does a family member help them to cope with that? You know, like you could tell them, you know, let's join the show or let's go to the support group. But when they come home and they're in their room and they're still dwelling on, why did this happen to me? What did I do? You know, how do you help them to move past that?
I think the anger gets better as the frustration gets less. Like, you know, if the family member, you know, if they, I don't know, that I just found that for myself. Like, when I found ways to help myself not have as much suffering each day, whatever that was for me, you know.
I agree, Deb.
So you become less frustrated, so you become less angry. So you have to learn coping mechanisms yourself to deal with your symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
I say victim to victorious, and that's a whole nother chapter of the book, right? But you know, why did this happen to me? Like, no one has the answer to that question. It's kind of like, do you want to live in the past? Do you want to be present? This is where you are, and let's move forward. We're not going to take gigantic leaps. We're not going to do zip lining. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I love that question. Why did this happen to me? Guess what? Why not? It could happen to everyone. Anyone. Why not?
It did, right?
It's not how far you fall, it's how you bounce up. So start bouncing.
I just think that if someone can, you know, they're healthy one day and then the next day they can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's going to be frustration, and you're going to have anger because you're, you know, maybe you try to eat and you can't do it like you did before. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't, you know, it's going to be normal.
Yeah, you know, when it happened, like way, way back in another lifetime, it seems, I was able to walk and talk and everything. And suddenly I found myself laying on the couch, and, you know, there's only so much anger, frustration you can have until you bore yourself to death. And then finally, you're going to say, depending on the person, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to make it right.
I never went through the anger phase. I was depressed. I was depressed.
Depression is a form of anger.
Yeah.
Degree.
Well, I wasn't actually angry. I was just sad because of what had happened. My ex-wife dropping me off somewhere and not wanting to be with me. So I wasn't mad. I was just, hey, we were supposed to have a life together, and you abandoned me.
Yeah.
I was frustrated, but I wasn't angry about it.
Well, that was a blessing, Gary.
Probably was. Because I traded up and got a better deal.
Yeah. Count your blessings.
Gary, you want to tell him that one again?
What?
Your last sentence.
What was it? I can't remember.
Traded up and got a better deal.
Yeah, I traded up and got a better deal.
Like that, sorry.
My ex-wife abandoned me for 2 weeks while I was at the Crumley house. I did not want to do nothing. I did not want to sleep, eat. It took the staff a great deal of patience to get me to do anything with them. I actually was still afraid when we went on outings that I wanted to be back at the Crumley house where I felt safe. I actually ran off from Walmart to walk back to the Crumley house. And they actually had to call the service coordinator late at night while she had her young son in the back seat, which I felt bad about after she told me about it, to come pick me up. Then I got banned from going on outings for a month, which was funny as hell. But when I met Sherry online, and we had our first date there at the family house. They fixed us a nice dinner, watched movies in the family room. My life turned around so much because, to answer your question about how to understand or what to do when they're angry, you have to understand. You have to understand that we are hurting. We are going to hurt because we don't understand what happened to us. And even though that I've spent the past 13 years trying to figure out what the doctors had done with my medical records and, everything, I've studied the brain so much, I know what happened to my brain. I know the effects of my injury and what my limitations were because I read. I kept reading. I got everything there was to know about the brain and read it.
Well, that's a great thing.
I wanted to know so much that I guess I obsessed with it. But it made me a better teacher to understand why occupational therapists want to do what they do to help people like us. That's why I love lecturing at Milligan College every year.
I'm a mentor for some students in this class, and then they're bugging me on my phone while I'm on my computer.
Yeah. I want to do that. I'm like so inspired by that. I've done some speeches, but not in a college format. Like I've done some speeches in New York and Washington, D.C. about surviving and opening eyes and things like that. But I think that having an impact on the younger crowd is more influential for the community, and because you can educate them. They're not as closed-minded as others. So
right. Because you can get a brain injury from anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, not just a car. There's sports accidents. There's
Oh,
falling out
yeah.
of trees. There's cerebral palsy. There's autism.
There's a lot of similarities. I mean, even PTSD, the symptoms that we go through and what veterans go through. I talk to a lot of veterans.
Oh, God.
And the similarities that they go through and things like that, it's very, very intriguing. And they're like, wow, I've been seeing a psychologist for how many years, and you're telling me the same thing in the last 15 minutes, and I pay them. They're like, don't you get paid for this? I said, no, but we take donations. Thank you. Yeah. But no, it's big. I mean, a prime example is MS. People with MS don't think that they have brain injuries. I said, what kind of doctor do you see for MS? They go, a neurologist. They go, that sounds really
That's a brain injury.
Yeah.
There is something going on with the brain that's causing that disease to happen.
Abnormalities.
You have to have lesions in the brain to have MS, right?
Yes, that's that's exactly my point. Yeah.
I have a family member that has MS, and she has a successful cookie business.
Yeah.
But my hands don't work. It's hard. I can't make cookies. All I can do is talk, man, and I'm really good at that.
Yes, you are.
Are you really
I know,
good?
I'm thinking, hey, if anyone can find me speaking engagements. When I was younger, when I was 16, I was in, I wanted to be a foreign exchange student when I was a kid. I mean, I told my parents when I was 5 years old, when I get big, I'm going to be a foreign exchange student. Well, I'm really old, so they looked at me like, what the hell? Where'd you get that from? But, so when I was 16, I went to Nicaragua. And when I came back, there were 5 of us from my town that went down for a year and came back. When I came back, they would try to parade all of us through all of the Lions Club and the this and the that to talk about our experiences. And one by one, everyone couldn't come and blah, blah. And then guess what? Then they let me talk by myself for like an hour. I did like 20 of these talks. No problem with public speaking. Find me gigs. But I need to collect kids, sorry. If I was rich and famous, I would do it for free.
No, that sounds like Anna. She says the same thing. If we could have an orphanage, we would.
I just want another truck driver to hit me so I can get rich.
I know what?
I would actually be a millionaire right now if I know who he was. But the bad part was, I would give 75% of it to the brain injury place to help fund them for whatever years they needed.
Yeah.
Well,
I actually played the lottery just to win money for them.
Nice.
Oh, who just left? Oh, I think it was
Aaron, the Aaron camera.
Aaron, yes.
That was never actually. I never saw Aaron, but.
Yeah, she's very quiet on the calls.
Yeah, my wife will tell me I'm never quiet.
I know. I try to tell my wife that I was always quiet before the brain injury, and then after I went to speech therapy, forget it. Ever since then.
I hated speech therapy. They had to teach me how to eat again.
Oh, I went through all that too. Yeah.
Here, take this so you can swallow correctly. Really? Just stuff it down my throat. I'll be okay.
Yeah, there's a fine line there between I know how to do it, I just can't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I have a son that has autism. He's actually 26, or he'll be 26 pretty soon. But I remember I was still on my feet. Okay, so I remember them telling me talking to me about proprioception, about where he doesn't actually know, or sometimes some people with autism don't know where their bodies are in space. And I was like, how the hell do you not know that? Well, guess what? I should have never asked that question. It's like I have to sleep with the night light so I don't fall out of bed, right? I actually haven't fallen out in a long time, so that's good.
They should make a movie about us.
Well, hey, let's write it.
I'm not a writer. I'm a speaker. I only wrote that one story. That was back when I first got into the family house.
Hey, look, now they have talk to text. All you have to do is talk to your phone, and then you can write a book. Write the script.
My autocorrect doesn't like me on my phone.
They don't like a lot of people. That's why I'm giggling to myself.
No, they don't.
I tell you, it gets us in trouble, doesn't it?
I'm trying to train it. It doesn't listen to me.
Yeah, I ended up sending the link, the YouTube link to the meditation guide to my accountant. I was like, oh, wrong. Oops.
All right, guys. Well, I wanted to thank you all for joining in today. And I hope to see you guys on our conference calls that we have on Tuesdays. It's very open, for conversation every week on Tuesday nights. On the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock. So I think in the Midwest, it's 7 o'clock every week. And and we do these every first and third Friday of every month. If anybody has a topic they like to discuss, let me know, message me about it. I usually have some references or some backup to go with. And aside from Gary, everybody else here, well, no, I'm sorry, Deb and Carissa and Linda, they're on my phone, but we can listen to the audio. I can play the audio of things or read, that's fine. So
I will learn to switch it over to the computer. I don't have a camera on handy, or I would get one.
Yeah. Okay.
Eagles don't pay too much.
Wow.
But it's fine. Yeah, it'll work. Even if you don't have a camera and you get on a computer, you can always still use the microphone or a headset, to listen.
Oh, I have a good headset.
That's perfect. That'll be fine. So I just want to thank you all. I'm going to be saving this because it was a terrific conversation. So I hope we all just keep in touch with one another and join in again.
So you will post this online?
I'll have it. No, I'm going to end up having it on our website. That's ASBISG.org.
Because my brain just started I want to actually hear it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you, Chrissy.
Okay, well, it was awesome meeting all of you. Thank you so much for the conversation. Sorry if I was quiet.
I saw you muted yourself, so I figured out she's got company or she's busy or something like that. So I said, okay, no big deal.
No, I'm here. I was listening.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
I have enjoyed meeting all of you all.
Thank you, Gary. We'll keep in touch outside of this on Facebook or whatever. So
I'm always around.
Yeah, we'll be talking more because I'm gonna take the post that you send me on Facebook. I'm gonna put it on our website for people to read as well. I think it's wonderful.
I think I posted it on the website to the visitors post or something like that. So it's not on the main one yet. So.
It's not on the main screen. People send us messages, and with approval, I'll do that. But some people share some pretty private information on there. So nothing goes on the website without approval.
Permission, yep.
Yep. Okay, guys. Thank you again, and I hope to see you all Tuesday, and hopefully on the next Friday.
I'll be at the Crumbly House on Tuesday.
Michael.
I'm sorry?
Michael.
Yes, no. Yeah, Deb.
Third week December? Are we gonna have a Christmas party that Tuesday?
We could try. We're having a.
I'll bring the eggnog.
Okay, good. On the 22nd, we're doing a Christmas party here.
Yeah, I wish I could come.
You know what I was
could do
thinking, what we can do, if you guys want to join in, you could log in and we could put it up on the big screen.
Oh, we could do a live broadcast on
Yeah.
screen.
So funny.
I'll have to get my camera out.
You get to see Michael being Santa. It'd be awesome.
Maybe it's either me or TJ. So
And
yeah.
it'll be Michael.
All right, guys, let me go.
Queen has spoken.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Pleasure meeting y'all.
You too. Thanks.